As you look at the floorboards, in this corner of the edge of a floorboard next to it looks scratched. Hollow space underneath the floorboards is dark and damp. You can barely make. Nothing particular catches your eye. Looks like more reeds. You stick your hand in and start combing through a small cylindrical object. You pull it out. A 9mm bullet, to be exact. Fit. The floorboard doesn't care. But maybe the washerwoman does. It's extra ammunition. She's locked and loaded, ready to fight some cops. On the table, you see a bowl of water. An old mirror hangs on the wall.
Our tenant, the policeman, damn that girl.
And without anger, a long and harsh life.
But you didn't put it there, did you? She did.
Gone and hid things in there? She's usually a good tenant. Yes, I let my room to that Ruby girl. As I've done before when she's been in trouble or just looking for solitude. She came last Friday, left on Monday in a hurry. What has she...
That's for the police to find out. Right then, please answer each question to the best of your ability.
Yes, early with the dogs.
She probably heard the lieutenant's Kanema drive by, and it woke her up, just like it did you.
Yes, that is a downside of having a 130 kilowatt engine. It lets the bad guy...
I cleaned it. Like I always know.
The truth, sire.
She's good company. Knows how to talk to an old...
Did she talk to you much during...
No, she was mostly silent. She tried not to let it show. But I could tell she hadn't come to fish. Usually she likes to cause a few... How would I know? She's a gruff one, but not violent. She doesn't go around... Not that I know of. Though she was into nice music. Although I guess she was pretty handy with the mechanical and technical stuff. I don't know. Further up the coast, she tried to leave quietly, but the hinges on that door screeched like a cat in heat.
It's a peninsula. She might...
You'll never find her, you know. She knows...
I wouldn't worry about that, ma'am. We are persistent.
Are you sure you would rather stay here? Get a nice...
The failed electric neuron. You feel like you should go look at it again. Step clear.
What more do you want to... Yes, one thing, officer. If you do... She's a good girl.
The scruffy-haired little boy.
What bag?
I don't think questioning 4-year-old.
worn by.
From here to the whirling, I can't see how. The church is in the way.
Is there something here that would indicate a sniper used this place as a net? In the distance, you can hear the break.
I don't see it, Lieutenant W. Freitor. I don't see a person take a shot here and hit something there, in the whirling in rags. To warm his hands before pulling the trigger? Perhaps. Truthfully, this seems like a very poor choice to take a 1.2 kilometer rifle shot from. Visibility is awful. There's water vapor everywhere. I think we can rule out Biddable Prime, was it? It's not possible to climb that ladder. And even if it were, why? Those? A smoking assailant who favors...
Tiomotiri was a Revacholian colony on Ilmara. Oh, you do? The butts you saw had a cylinder. There, 1.2 kilometers, a glowing light on the third floor of the Whirling in Rags.
Hello again. No, I'm afraid I can't help you with...
So,
No, I'm sorry. As I said...
He's telling the truth. He hasn't seen any. You see, a slogan used to... Above the mural, a collapsed roof, broken windows set in walls that are felled electric. There's something in the wind.
in there? She could. Or she could be in the identical room over there, or in that boat shack.
Why single out this one building? Even though you're sure you succeeded, all is quiet. There is no cold hand brushing against your forehead, no rustle in the reeds. Trying to talk to the wind is trying to talk to the city, something you've done.
How do we? I was really hoping she'd be in the village. She's probably north of the village, and this place is a peninsula. We already scanned most of the outdoor areas on our wild cryptid. And then there's the church. We've already searched that and can rule it out. I know it doesn't feel like Anyway, we do it the old-fashioned way, sector by sector. Go over the whole peninsula, ask the locals, enter the places where we can enter first, like we did. Then, if we're desperate, we can look where we can't enter. Bunkers, storm drainage, this place. I'm sure it won't come to that.
Walk the coast, the old boardwalk, the reeds. You can always come back here and talk. Suddenly, there's a sign in through the collapsed roof.
She's down there.
Okay. Why? Right. How do we get in there? The doors were on the collapsed side of this building. Perhaps you can climb them. We are not climbing anything.
A rusty ladder leads to the rooftop.
Yeah, that doesn't look good at all.
The distances between the remaining rungs are rather wide. In addition, the first rung is going to be tough to reach. It's what, 3 meters above the ground, and you're 180? Not to mention that the roof is collapsing and the wind. What if you were to reconceptualize climbing the ladder?
Teleportation is not a thing.
Even if it isn't, no one told you.
Oh yes, it could hurt. A lot.
On second thought, because you're just standing there squeezing your buttocks and nothing is happening. The lieutenant looks at you. An old pipe peeks out from beneath the rotted. A building like this must have multiple doors serving various. Your eyes slowly begin to. The lieutenant looks over your shoulder. A thin layer of snow. As your eyes adjust, you see some trash. And nothing. Broken glass from bottles.
Given that this isn't a martial arts thriller, however, the pipe suggests there may be an entrance to the basement around. And it's right here, a maintenance door.
A row of ghostly shades facing a crumbling wall, with another 7 shades stand a cold sea behind this building. Behind the pipe, the maintenance door, rusted shut and half sunken in sand. You and the lieutenant lean all your weight into.
Let's take a breather and try this again later. It's very tough.
The rusty ladder leads to the rooftop. In addition, the first... Okay, what if you were to reconceptualize climbing the ladder?
Of course.
Uncle.
There's...
Can't really remember seeing...
It's a touchy... He really has no idea who this Ruby is, sire.
The legend returns. You know the dance. Smokable smokes, pissable pilsner. Drink it, then convert it to piss. And
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio mic.
This is Precinct 50. Still no word, I'm afraid, sir. I know it must be frustrating. 57th, over.
In the cabin, the man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and white boots. His
Of course. You have come back later, Copo. Amuse yourself.
The man.
Yes, we do.
The man.
Yes, we do. It's bad as it is. Go ahead. I'm not...
This is the sorriest pair of...
The cold piece of baked.
The fuck are you waiting for,
The buckle.
Why don't you just shoot yourself in your mouth?
Your feel. The slow.
Look, he's crying. You gonna cry now? Do it! Set me free!
Don't.
Do it!
Intense shit, Copper.
Kurt waved his gun! It wasn't intense, it was pathetic!
The man before. The cold.
This is...
The buckle.
Why don't you just shoot yourself in your mouth? At least you won't miss.
Your feel. The slow.
Look, he's crying. You gonna cry now, fucking faggoty?
The buckle explodes into tiny pieces, with your hand numb from the recoil, looking straight at you, helpless.
Communism.
It takes a millisecond for the association. Then the rigor in his muscles gives up, and he smashes sideways into the spring mud, letting out a horrid stench.
Ace is high.
The Ace is High, a custom invented by the aerostatic. The lieutenant takes a little hop to perform the cut.
I knew these guys were
We will perform a field autopsy and determine the cause of death. But before...
Slumped on the ground like that has not improved.
It looks like I feel like taking a break from the stench. I'm sorry to interrupt the jubilations here. Just a little breather before we do the autopsy. I would suggest we interview Everhart and Joyce, the leader of the Union and the Wild Pines rep. But we've already done that, so it's up to you, detective. Take us where we need to be.
The rotting man. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and...
Come on, officer. You know what...
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano, Corpus Mundi, is the world's highest summit, and the failure of the 38 single, Et puis this...
Unfortunately, no. They are better than nothing. Tell you what, I perform the anatomical side of things, while you will take notes. That's right.
Yeah, we got this. The dead man stares above those, an 11-field info form.
That's you.
The corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just like
KK57.
KK equals Kim Kitsuragi. 57 equals Precinct 57, followed by his... That's because he doesn't want to bring up the messy question of your initials.
Next, we've heard the nom de guerre, Lely. It's better than nothing. What's next? NA. Roughly 50.
Try 40. The damage is so extensive, it's better to err on the young side. He nods.
Mondial.
Fair to olive-skinned, from the Isola of Muindi. This is as vague as it gets. You might as well say, white. The pudgy mess of curdled meat.
Fucky, fucky!
Male.
pigs can have sex.
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
We're still going with March 4th. What else? 9. Body identified by... is not...
KK57 05.
I'm not seeing anything yet. But we know there's tampering here. Write down... yes. Non-visual. Good.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture.
We should start the post-mortem.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer means...
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is
See?
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive.
The disappointment is palpable.
The rest of the clothes have been removed post-mortem.
It would be clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire. If you are to keep them for yourself, as you ought to, you have deserved them more than anyone else. Patience. After the autopsy, before the body is taken away, there will be a window of opportunity after the lieutenant has gone to sleep. I hope this has helped you, my liege.
The boat has a serial number. It's E50.100.100. The lines between the plates are in the shape of the alpha tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings to be added to the case files. The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck. Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
His hair feels wet, soaked with rain, cold to touch. Not that different from a living person after a swim. The stench is subtle. There's brilliantine in there. He's combed his hair back with oil.
Lividity appears consistent with hanging, but is not. The head is congested. Contusions are present.
Fucking low velocity. You think Kuno doesn't know? Talking shit about Kuno's.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation. Ligature mark. The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the bell so we can get to the ligature.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now, we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully.
See?
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
The belt is equally tight. Would it be a good idea to cut the knot instead of the belt? The knot is the weak spot. The chain cutters fit in there. After some deliberation, you snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt...
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck. Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters. Chest is intact. Normal contour.
No!
I fucking...
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
The dead man's penis is average-sized, congested.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count.
From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades. Dispersal and accumulation.
We have a real museum here. Last item. Hands.
The hand is surprisingly heavy to lift, filled with...
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling. Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next? Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything?
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protrude.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his... You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves.
Yeah, Jack!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the respiratory system. Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen.
No scream. No sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's hard. Once more, you taste stomach acid in the back of your... inside.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus. Hepatobiliary. Na. Same for toxicology and serology. Na. Unless you have untapped
Reservoirs? No, but do they take obscure trivia and odd tidbits?
No. Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the gastrointestinal.
This will do.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila. What's next on the list? Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields.
Be thorough if you want max.
Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. And your opinion, officer? Agreed. Next injury? So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perp
At maximum.
has confessed to causing it at max.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest.
Right. Next. A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of...
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait.
That's right. No clawing marks on the neck. No signs of... That's it. Field autopsy done, detective. All that remains is to see if the alleged cause of...
Oh yeah, finally.
Seriously, I can just back him and drive him to the morgue anytime you tell me to. No need for heroics, unless you want to. I thought we decided to leave it to processing.
Damn it. This is turning. Okay, so you can sneak out of your room maybe, after he's gone asleep. Your arms reach out. His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat. The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches. A vision of black and dark. You see a hole, barely an abrasion collar. This is what we're after.
Abrasion collar.
Kuno is silent. A black trickle of liquid runs into your index, fits right in there.
The fucking. Ah, shit, see?
The basal ganglia feels clumpy. This man will never sleep again. Your fingers slide into the... This is what he used to regulate his emotions with. The lieutenant answered.
Fucking cavity, see?
Your fingers are all the way in. Your fingers reach toward him. Sharp, serrated material. The edges cut right into your skin. This must be the bullet. You pick the sharp metal bullet between your index and middle finger. With your face twisting from pain and concentration, all you need to do is just... The inside of the head feels cold and smooth with a plop. Your hand emerges from...
Fucking beautiful!
A bullet.
The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smack.
A non-caliber. Rifle. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact. No, you deserve it. We can log it later. We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry, high velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound? Opinion, fatal injury. And one last thing. We should amend injury number 3, ligament mark. Treatment. It's obvious the Hardy Boys tampered with it. Oh, you really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening. Yes, we should take a closer look.
This little thing could reveal much.
We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day. Work on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything to... I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing. Great work, detective. All right.
There go those beautiful enamel boots. You will never own the full set now. May they rest in... Oh well.
I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands.
The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCMs, the squished little... I know. You should find the gun that shot this bullet. That sounds like something a police detective would do. First, you should learn, then find the gun that shot it and the person that gun belongs to. He used it to kill your victim. The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket... You wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia. The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish... The core is lead. The brass jacket probably didn't cover the... You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. It's quite destroyed. Some of... What's interesting about the bullet thus far? Exactly. A very unusual jacketed bullet. One that would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loaded. Very interesting. You have an unusual military-grade bullet in your hand. Now all you need is to find a gun that could fire it. A rifle, Revolutionary period. Your bullet looks to be an old... The 4.46 caliber was widely used with the Belmargrave rifle. Incidentally, you have just such a rifle with you. The dusty old thing you found hidden in the basement below the commercial area. No, but Zeliger, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with a surplus of antiques enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant... Back at the station, the lieutenant is standing at a counter, diligently filling out paperwork to hand over to a tired records clerk. You should share your findings with him as soon as possible. This is not the cleanest bathtub in the world, but it's... that soap scum smell. It smells like life. At least the bathtub slowly fills with... The water doesn't feel particularly clean. Hold it right there. Keep your head above water, or you'll lose all those pheromones Morel sprayed on you. The lukewarm water is comforting, like amniotic fluid. Now you are alone with your thoughts in the tub, but it's easier than being alone with your thoughts outside the tub. Your fingers grow pale and are covered with tiny whirls as the water cools. You see the corpse. Then, houses along a narrow street. The waterline recedes as you stand. You are cold now. Your clothes stick to your still moist. A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, this medicine cabinet is stocked with. There it is, the orange.